Hey, everybody. Christine and I are so excited about putting this group together because we know that a lot of you have been thinking about this idea of a relaunch. And we wanted to make this resource so that you really had an outline for what that looked like. So we're going to just talk about the positioning of a relaunch. We're going to talk about like the actual how you do it. And then we're going to leave you guys with a challenge for the month of July. So if you're watching this on the other end of July, maybe we'll do it again. But so the first thing I want to talk about is the positioning. I think that sometimes people are hesitant to relaunch because they're like, what do I even say? Like, that didn't go so well the first time. I'm going to try again. Like, that's not what we're doing. And even if you feel that way internally, that's not what is coming across. And we don't want you to feel like that's what this is. Like, because you feel like, oh, it didn't go so well, or maybe you're like, oh, I'm in a rut, I need to do something different. It's that's okay to feel that way. We all feel that way. I promise you, over the last 20 years that's happened to me a lot. Whether I had like this great idea and it flopped, or just in a valley and then I had to step it up in a different way. So none of that's abnormal. And if you've ever been involved in business as a whole, like that is a very normal business thing. And I think sometimes for those of us who have never been involved in business, you don't know that those plateaus and those valleys and like having to kind of shift things is totally normal. So don't get in your own head, because I promise you that the biggest obstacle in a relaunch is right here. So how do you position it? There's a few ways you can position it. One way right now that applies to absolutely everybody, whether you started your business in 2020 or 2021, or whether you started it 10 years ago, or whether you started it last year, it doesn't matter. You can relaunch around this idea that, and don't use the word COVID. Please don't use the word COVID or pandemic or any of that, because social media doesn't like those words. But when you're thinking about it, like the world has shifted. Like every week, no matter what political place anyone falls of your clients, the world has shifted. People think about their health differently now. People are doing business differently now. You may have realized that you're passionate about certain things that you didn't before. You may like, you can use where the world is at as a positioning to relaunch. Like, people have questions they didn't have before. You want to put your business out there as a resource to people. So that is a timely thing that anyone in this whole year and probably into 2024 can use as a positioning for your relaunch. There are so many companies doing this right now, like rebranding, refiguring out how they approach things. The other thing is a new niche. You can figure out, maybe you didn't have kids when you started this business and now you do have kids. And so you're shifting your niche. Maybe you really were focused on this area of health, but now you're really passionate about this area of health. Maybe you did business differently. And so maybe you want to share it in this aspect. Maybe you are like, you know what, I really want to target people in my age demographic, or maybe I really want to talk to, I really like, even though I'm at this age, I really want to help young moms. Like, whatever it is, you can use any of these things to relaunch your business, and you can do that with confidence and with passion and excitement, and never feeling like relaunch doesn't mean you didn't do a good job before. Whether or not you feel that way or not, that's not what it means. Like, you may be struggling with that internally, but that's something to work out in yourself so that you aren't um like projecting that onto other people, right? Because that's not the case. We can relaunch because we have a renewed excitement. We have a renewed passion. Maybe we have a renewed need. I mean, Jennifer Glacken, Senior Master Coordinator, talks a lot about the different times that she relaunched her business. For example, the first time she relaunched her business was when her husband lost his job. she had kind of been dabbling and like doing it a little bit, and then relaunched her business because they needed the money. And she relaunched her business again after she got divorced, and her life shifted. And she also relaunched her business after she was homeschooling, after her kids, were out of the house, like different. So she relaunched, and then, after divorce. But so there's all these different places. For me, I relaunched when I was like, oh, maybe I won't just dabble in this. Maybe I will do this well. Maybe I'm like, I have goals. I want to create an income. So I think there's so many times in your life that you can do this, and being able to say, okay, this is a new season, or I have new goals, or I'm going to step into this in a different way. And so, and again, your why of why you do your business matters to people also. So it's not that that part's a secret. Like if you're in a different place um than you were before, it's okay to be like, this is my new season of life and I am relaunching my business because of this. Like whatever it
Yes.
is, however you personally are shifting. Christine, what do you have to
And
add
I
to that?
wanted to share, people really like to follow someone who knows where they're going. And so when you share whatever it is, like for me, like I'm in a new season of homeschooling. And so I have a different focus than I did 8 years ago when I started my business. So I think people really are attracted to knowing your story. It doesn't matter what it is. Some people's kids are going to college. Some people are coming out and relaunching. Like me, I'm in a different spot with my children than I was 8 years ago. And people are very attracted to that. And when you come out and very explicitly state why and what and your excitement for it, I find that people really, really love that and they want to join you. I know it happened with Jennifer Glacken and a few other people that have been working their business for a long time on Barb's team. So I do think that it's huge for us to like boldly step out and share that. And if it's a niche that we're talking about, like for me, I think it's women over 40 and gut health. Like that's really my focus. And so everybody's got a different focus, but I wanted to share that. I think it really attracts people
I completely agree. And people
in a new
care
way.
about, yes, people care about why you're doing this business. They do. Um, and so I totally agree. All right, so that is the positioning piece, okay? Because you need to feel good about how you put it out there. And so we want to let you know this is a good thing and we can help you work through that. What does relaunching actually look like? Like, what are we even talking about? Well, there's obviously the aspect of your social media. Maybe you're going to shift the way you do your social media. Maybe you are going to be more consistent in your social media. But again, that can be its own piece. That can be, doesn't have to mean you're relaunching. It can just be, I go through seasons where I'm like, okay, I need to be more consistent. Like, okay, I want to show up this way. Okay, I need to share more information with this. But that can be part of your relaunch. But the key pieces, in my opinion, of your relaunch are doing an in-home event potentially, and a Facebook event, and possibly a Zoom event. But having a event around your relaunch, because I will tell you that these kind of big events bring a sense of momentum. You are asking someone to come and see what you're excited about, just like you did in the beginning. You're asking someone to come and check out what you're doing, support your business, even just by being there. You are having this opportunity to share your excitement. The power of a launch when you first get started is the same exact power that a relaunch has. It's not any different. And so that is a powerful way to step up your business in big ways. Um, and it can be a good use of time and energy. It brings excitement and momentum. And so again, you can go to the new ambassador guide that we made. And you can see I just created a brand new general presentation for an in-home meeting or a Zoom meeting, that all the new graphics, everything that you can easily use. You just pop your own pictures and stories in there. And there's even a slide at the end. Elizabeth Tanglis used it at an event on Thursday. She's like, I don't know what to say on this slide. And I was like, here's the story. You can share the story or you can just make your own transition. But all of those things are there so that you can host an in-home meeting. And as long as you invite well and you figure out that positioning, right? So before we have the event, we need to figure out that positioning because that is how we invite people. Like, it's not like, hey, I'm doing an event. I'm going to tell people about Shackley. Like, what compels someone to come to that, right? So whether it's on Facebook or Zoom or in person or all of them, I actually would recommend in person and Facebook for sure. I would do both. And because I think they reach different groups. Some people want to come to both. They're um, so much of the work is done for you, but the inviting looks different. Some people want to come in person. Some people live in Timbuktu and they can't, but they want to come and support you. But when you figure out your positioning, that is what spurs your inviting, just like it does when you first get started, right? We always talk about that, but that's just as important here because when you know why you're relaunching, you will feel more confident in your invitations, and that will entice people to come more than just like, hey, I'm doing a little Shackley thing. You want to come? It feels a lot different than, hey, this is the season of life that I'm in, and I've always loved my Shackley business, but I have this new excitement about this focus, or because the world has changed and this is how I'm looking at it right now, or like this is what's going on in my life, and I've realized that this is something I want to invest in and I want to grow and I want to help more people, whether it's like we're paying for college now, and or we're looking at college in a few years, and I know that I can help more families be healthier while figuring out this challenge that we're facing. Whatever it is for you is going to look different, but figuring out what that is, because the inviting to this is key, just like the inviting in the beginning, even to the Facebook events, leaving voice messages to help you invite and really positioning why you're doing this. And like, I would love for you to come and support me. And this is great for current clients. This is great for people who have flaked out, like clients who have flaked out, who aren't ordering anymore. And this is great for new people. It's a great combination of all the things, right? So we can do that and then have this momentum going. But it's actually, for some of us, it's better than a regular launch because you do have people who've been using the products who are coming to support you and encourage you and tell and comment like, oh my goodness, I love this, or raise their hand at an event like, I love whatever it is. And I actually would recommend that, to either in person or Facebook, reaching out to your best clients and telling them that if they have 3 people or to a Facebook event, or maybe if they invite one guest to an in person, that there will be an incentive for them to invite someone to come and check it out. So that's kind of the what. Do you have anything to add to that, Christine?
No, I think the inviting part, people feel your excitement and they want to come because of that. So I think us really focusing on that part and like getting our, because it's not even about Shackley. We love Shackley. We know that it's the vehicle and the tool to get people wherever they want to go goal wise, but really they're attracted to your reason, your why, your story, and you. So I think that's like, and that's how I think we get people to our homes, and they love coming. I have never had anyone not say that they loved an in-home, or if you don't want to have people at your home or on your back porch or on your front porch or wherever, like I have found that people just are loving to gather right now, and we feel really nervous because we don't know what's going to happen, right? It's just like when we were 8th grade and we invite people to a party and then you don't know if anybody's going to come. So it's scary. It's scary to step out, but I have found that once you step out and do it and you get all the invites out and then it's just out there, you're doing it. If one person comes, if 3 people come, um it's still a wonderful event, and whoever was supposed to come is there. And then it's a great, like, all the follow-up conversations that happen because we invited well. A lot of people try new products, get started, will come and visit you one-on-one because they couldn't come. I have that happen a lot, and they come and try stuff they wanted to try at my house because they couldn't come on the day that I had it. So I do think that it really, like what Harper was said, ignites this momentum that will really carry us for the next 6 months. And so it really is something you do for your business, and you spend an hour to 2 hours inviting really well. And then it's like this momentum that can go from now till December to really propel us into growth. And so that's what we're trying to create for ourselves and everybody else, is that momentum and that energy. So sorry that took a little bit.
No, that was right on, Christine. So the last piece is that why July? Why are we encouraging you to do this in July? And I'll tell you, that's the same thing. I was talking to two brand new builders, brand new, this week. And I said, you need to host your launch in July. And I'm telling you about your relaunch for the same reason, because conference is coming up. And the reason that that matters is because whether you attend conference or not, there's going to be new products, there's going to be new specials, there's going to be new excitement. And you want to be able to focus on that. So if you have your launch in July, you get all these people engaged, excited, new people. They know what you do. They know what you're about. They know your story. One of the most beautiful things about the launch for me is that you get to share your heart, right? Like, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I care about you. This is like my passion. You get to share your heart. So you have this opportunity to relaunch your business, to re-engage people who have not been using stuff. People who have been start following you again. Brand new people are like, oh, this is what you do. This is awesome. I want to be a part of this. Then that momentum flows into conference. And then all the things that launch at conference, now you are sharing them with these people, but you've already set the stage. You've set the stage for, this is who I am. This is where my business is. You're going to feel in a catch up if it's not till afterwards, because you're like, do I relaunch now or do I talk about these conference things? But right now you can just focus on relaunching, building that momentum. Then come August, that momentum builds because now you have these conference things to talk about, and then it just will continue to propel forward. So that's why it's really important to, if at all possible, do ideally your in-home and your Facebook in July, but at least your Facebook event in July. But like I said, ideally both. Now here's the challenge. So as a team, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send a Google Doc to people who they want to sign up for this challenge. So the challenge is to have your in-home and Facebook event, at least one of them, in July. Again, but there's going to be an incentive. So anyone who does one gets entered into the raffle one time, and anyone who does two gets entered in twice. But it's also a team. So if you commit to doing this, then you are going to commit to being part of each other's Facebook events, to encouraging each other. We're going to have a special thread for anybody who commits to saying, okay, when is your event? Where is it? Like, okay, Kate's like, I'm doing my in-home on this day. Like, and then whoever is able to go can go and support them. Like, so we're working together, or we're just gonna be like, hey, like if Kate's like, all right, I'm doing my in-home. I don't have a good story for this thing. Like, and I'm saying Kate because there's two of you, so it's not necessarily like I'm talking to one person in particular. But again, so like I need a story for this. Okay, great. Here's the story. Like somebody has one. So really feeling like you have camaraderie around it. Like, okay, I have to invite to my Facebook event. This is what I was going to say. What are you going to say? And encouraging one another to do this and to do it well. If you're struggling with, your positioning or your, like, okay, I'm looking at all the posts I want to do on my Facebook launch. It feels long. Do I just go ahead and do them all, or do I shorten it? Like, we can have those conversations and help each other do this well and work as a team. And again, and then there's going to be some big incentives for those who participate. And I'm going to work on the details of those, but so I don't have the details yet, but I'm working on some big incentives, both hopefully maybe some raffle prizes that you can give away during your event, but also for sure some giveaways for you personally, for being part of this. So Does anyone have any questions? Do you have anything to add, Christine?
No, I think that was fabulous. I'm really excited for
I'm
all of
super
us to be doing this together. So thank you guys for being on. And if you're scared, that's a good thing. That's normal.
Mhm.
So we work through the fear part together, and then when you're on the other side of it, you grow. So I do feel like pushing through the fear, and that's why the group concept and us problem solving together is so powerful, because everybody has fear around stepping out and doing something that's uncomfortable or doing it again, even though we did it a few years ago. And so I have fear around it too. So we work through that together. And that's the best part, is the growth.
100%. Awesome. Well, thank you all for being on with us today. And for those of you who are watching the recording, we are so excited about the momentum that is going to come to our team in July because we're partnering through this.